Okay, so good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. It'll be much better in person. Although with the cold and the icy sidewalks, maybe a Zoom meeting isn't such a bad thing this morning. Might be a little bit of a challenge if we were meeting somewhere in a cafe. Anyway, so before we get started with the presentation, just wanted to mention a couple of things. Firstly, we will have a bingo charity pop-up this coming Saturday online. It is a fundraiser for Misni Misni. We're going to be purchasing with the funds that we raise food and drink vouchers for those in need, and they are people are especially needy these days. It's cold weather and all. And so if you're interested in joining us, please get in touch with the IWAP charity group, and you will get the contact information for that Zoom meeting. And just as a reminder, we are always recording our Zoom meetings. So for example, if you can't join us next month, there is a recording. If you'd like to see the meeting, Sandra would be able to, you contact Sandra, and she will be able to send you the link so you could see the recorded meeting. And for those of you who are here with us this morning, if there's somebody that you know, another member who might like to see it, this morning's meeting, again, you could mention to them to contact Sandra. She can send you the link for this morning's meeting. And let's get started. So I'm going to pass the microphone off to Fernanda, and she will officially welcome Karen Gueton-Lepe to our meeting, who was our guest speaker today. Fernanda.
Thank you, Shirley. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Karin. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Karin, to be here with us this morning. Karin Gueton-Lepe is a professional coach established in the Czech Republic since 1990, and the founder of Coaching for Success. And I would like to add something I didn't mention in the invitation, is that she has been a member of IWAP for many years. And it is not the first time she is our guest speaker. She presented in 1999, 2003, 2011, and 2015. So it's really a pleasure to have her once again with us today. And to receive an injection of energy, a boost of positive motivation. I have the pleasure and the blessing to have the friendship of Karin. She's a very dear friend of mine. And either through her coaching or just through a normal lunch conversation, she never different, and she always has that power to move chords inside you that sometimes you didn't even know they were there. I will have to say that also, I repeat, Karen founded Lepe Coaching and Consulting in the US in 1988, and after a decade of growth in the US, she came to the Czech Republic. She transferred her operations and launched Coaching for Success in 1999. As a professional coach in the past already 22 years, Karin has created, has delivered training programs, customized coaching aimed at mid and top level managers, not big companies. And she focuses on developing leadership, also cross-cultural understanding, and something which is very important for her, effective communications. She began her training with qualifications in neuro-linguistic programming and neuroassociative conditioning in the US. She has attended many courses. It's a very big list of courses, achieving various international certifications. But I would like to highlight that she has an EGALA certified professional. This is EAGALEA certified professional. She's a level 1 and level 2 training in horse-assisted psychotherapy. And she started a very beautiful program of which I have had the pleasure of being part program of workshops which are related with coaching with horses, connecting with horses. And also she has a certification in mindfulness-based stress reduction. She has a practitioner in mindfulness-based stress reduction. So it's a pleasure and an honor to have Karen with us today. And as I said before, bringing some light in what seems a never-ending year of tests. Karen, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. I know you have a very busy morning, so thank you for making the space for us, and welcome once again in this, your home.
Thank you very much, Fernanda. Thank you, Shirley, and thank you all for being here. And Fernanda, you know, you raised the bar so high. I hope I'm going to be able to really not disappoint anybody after this long list of compliments that you did for me. I'm going to share with you a PowerPoint in order to really illustrate a little bit and hopefully bring a bit of boost of positive energy this morning. As I said, it's a pleasure to be here today. I being a member of IWAP since 1995 when I came to Prague on and off, and I had the honors of addressing your audience many times. A few weeks ago, Fernanda called me and asked me if I would be willing to speak with you to share about what I learned in the past year regarding the feeling of fear, insecurity, and a bit of a issue that we all are dealing with at the moment. And more important, what did I do to stay positive and optimist? Now, after the long introduction, I'm going to make a very quick, okay, this is when I need to understand how that works. Yeah, quickly, you know, I will not repeat it, but my life journey started in New Caledonia a few decades ago. I grew up in France, lived in America for 8 years, and came to Prague 25 years ago. Now, to illustrate today's topic, I thought I will share with you a short video, which some of you know. It's taken out of a very well-known TV series called West Wing. If you cannot hear it, don't worry. We will do it again, read it again after the video. I just thought the video will illustrate in a nicer way instead of me telling you the story directly. Here we go.
How'd it go? Did you wait around for me? How'd it go? He thinks I may have an eating disorder. Josh. And fear of rectangles. That's not weird, is it? I didn't cut my hand on a glass. I broke a window in my apartment. This guy's walking down the street when he falls in the hole. The walls are so steep he can't get out. A doctor passes by and the guy shouts up, "Hey, you, can you help me out?" The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a priest comes along and the guy shouts up, "Father, I'm down in this hole. Can you help me out?" The priest writes out a prayer, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a friend walks by. "Hey, Joe, it's me. Can you help me out?" And the friend jumps in the hole. Our guy says, "Are you stupid? Now we're both down here." The friend says, "Yeah, but I've been down here before and I know the way out."
How many of you have ever seen that movie? Not familiar. Just to make sure you all understood the story, I don't know if I have these black things on top of the slide. Is it just me or you also see it? Set up professional audio in audio setting? Am I the only one seeing it? Okay, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So the message of the story is, I know the way out. The guy is walking down the street and he falls in a hole. And the walls are too steep so he cannot get out. The doctor passes by and the guy shouts, "Hey, can you help me out?" The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down the hole and moves on. Then a priest comes along and the guy shouts out, "Father, I'm down in a hole. Can you help me out?" The priest writes out a prayer, throws it down the hole and moves on. Then a friend walks by. Hey, Joe, it's me. Can you help me out? And the friend jumps in the hole. Our guy says, are you stupid? Now we're both down here. And the friend says, yes, but I've been down here before and I know the way out. Now, when I heard that story many times, because I watched that TV series a few times, and this is what came to my mind when I was thinking about today's presentation, I started to think about how many times I ended up in a hole. And how many times, I'm guessing, many of you ended up in a hole, and maybe right now you feel that you are down in a hole. Does it sound familiar? Or am I the only one who felt like, now luckily, I'm old enough to have been into small holes, big holes. At the end of the day, it's all about how do we feel? And we discussed a bit of that this morning, before everybody came in. And what is important is who helped you and or what helped you. Now, because of the time issues, unfortunately, I cannot just ask you to go deep into that. What I suggest is that later on you think about this and you really kind of make a list of all the situations that, you forgot about. But I guarantee, especially those of you who feel really bad, you know the way out. You've been there before. I've been there before. You've been there before. Luckily, sometimes we haven't been in the same holes. This is what we can help each other out for. The most important question is, what did you do to get out? Now, when I was discussing with, Fernanda about this, there was one theme that keeps on coming back, how I managed to get out of the holes in my life. And for me, it's about connecting. And there is two ways to connect. First, you need to connect to yourself. And I'm sure many of you, Fernanda mentioned that I've done some mindfulness training. It's about being able to be aware of how you feel and how that makes you kind of move. And how can you reconnect with yourself in order to be at peace with what you're feeling and what you're doing at that moment. And the second thing is, how do you connect with others? Anybody has an idea? It's okay to unmute and share your experience. Do you have any example, illustration on how you connect with others? Okay. I'm going to share with you the 3 ways that I've experienced and practiced to connect with others. And the first one is very difficult. Smiling. So I cannot see all of you right now, but I would like for you to start to smile, just to really experience all the benefit of smiling. Now, some of you might already know, and I've already experienced, that actually smiling releases endorphin, which are natural painkillers, and serotonin. And when you put all of those different kind of, I don't know if it's in English, neurotransmitter, they kind of make you feel good all over the body. And we forget, when I lived in America, I learned to smile a lot. And I came to the Czech Republic and nobody smiled. And when I smiled, they looked at me and said, I don't know if it's real or for fake. And I'm like, what do you mean if it's real or for fake? And then I asked one of my Czech teacher when I was still, trying to learn. And I said, why don't you guys smile more? And she said, why should I smile if I don't feel like it? I have news for you, ladies. It works regardless if you feel like it or not. It starts when you look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, granted, in the morning might not be very pleasant, depending on the nights and depending on the hairdo and depending on. Smile. Smile at yourself. If it works better after you put the makeup, that's okay. Just smile. You're going to feel better. Every time we smile, it helps us connect to ourselves, but also to others. I guarantee when you meet each other in real life, that was before the mask, you smile to each other. And by just seeing your smiling friend, you feel better. Am I right? Am I wrong? How many of you feel better when you smile to yourself or to others? So in order for you to really benefit from what I would like to share with you, I have a bit of a challenge for you. Right here. Sorry. It's called a smile challenge. And you're welcome to do it. Actually, there was a guy named Harvey Ball that developed these iconic smiling things, and it's celebrated, on the first Friday of October. I didn't know there was a smiling day. But you try to flex your muscles more often, and then you do post-it note challenge, meaning you get 10 to 20 little post-it colors notes, and you write down everything that makes you smile. You know, people, places, anything that when you look at it reminds you something either funny or positive, and you smile. For some of you, it might be your cat. See, when I see my cats, I usually smile. When I see the horses, I usually smile. When I see Fernanda's big smile, I mean, Fernanda for me is the biggest smiling person I know, no matter what. And I'm like, oh, I guess life is good. So write down and put these little post-it everywhere. I'm sure you've seen some movie when you learn languages like this, you know, this is a door, this is a table, this is this. Well, in this case, you just replace with a smiling memory. Now, there used to be a time when you kind of walk without the mask, you could smile at people and they will respond. Right now, it's a bit limited. So the other thing is you can do, for those of you like a social media collage. And then you pretty much post on Facebook or whatever social media you have something, and you can start this. I said, this is what makes me smile. What is your collage that makes me smile? You know, they had this bucket challenge and they had this black and white challenge. How about if we start a smiling challenge that we all encourage each other to think of something that makes us smile? That works with you? Any questions so far? Okay. You're all very nice. Nobody's challenging me yet. Okay. Now, the second one, which in many ways is what IWAP is very good at, is reaching out to others. Now, somebody might have heard of Joseph Campbell, you know, the gentleman who wrote The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Does it sound familiar to some people? And he said, when we quit thinking about ourselves and our own self-preservation, we undergo a truly heroic transformation of consciousness. And in many ways, I think what the COVID reminded me is the importance of what we call the human anchor, which is people in our life who help us feel stable, emotionally stable and emotionally happy. And actually, some of my old friends, as mentioned that I used to live in America 40 years ago, who is not on Facebook, she refused to be on Facebook, but she reached to WhatsApp. And with another friend, so this one lives in Paris, the other friend that we used to meet 40 years ago watching Dynasty, believe it or not. Anybody knows what Dynasty is? We used to have, they introduced me to Dynasty. I said, what is that? Say, we're gonna have a Dynasty night. I said, what is that? So we end up pizza, beer, you know, 3 friends watching Dynasty once a week. There was only 1 episode per week, not the binge walk, you know, watching. So now we have a Dynasty WhatsApp group, and I love it because we've known each other for 40 years. We just haven't stayed that close. And, you know, in many ways, this situation had reminded us the importance of human connection. I understand Zoom is not the most comfortable tools, but trust me, when I moved to New York and my sister is there somewhere on the Zoom call, we used to write letters. Phone calls were expensive. And we save it for the really important message, which is when are you coming? What time are you landing? And, you know, these kind of things. And then we communicate by telex, which was mostly business. So Zoom is frustrating, but it's fantastic. Look, we can talk. I can show you pictures. We have WhatsApp. Fernanda calls to Mexico, I'm sure once a week, if it's not more than that. When her daughter was in England, we take it for granted, but that's how we reach out. Now, I have another challenge for you, which actually I did following somebody's advice. It's called reaching out to 50 people in 1 week challenge. Now you tell me, I don't know 50 people. Well, I guarantee you do. Especially if you're not 20 years old. Well, even 20 years old might have even more on their Facebook and their Instagram. And at the end of the day, it is just to let people know that you are still thinking about them. Now, the way I did it, I'd make a list of friends, people that I haven't been that much in touch. And I said, okay, you know, every time you said, well, I should talk to Jane. Oh, I should reach out to Jane. And then you put it on the, you know, the list, and 6 months go by and you still haven't kind of reached out to Jane. Well, this is your chance. This week, you reach out to Jane, to Peter, to whoever you haven't talked to that you like. I mean, don't reach out people you don't like. That will, you know, defeat the purpose. Somebody, and you don't have to make it complicated. Actually, I did it last year a little bit. Are you okay? How do you feel about this unpleasant situation? And then the other thing, for those of you who have a bit of more business connection, you do the same thing. You reach out to people, LinkedIn. Most of you have more than 50 people on LinkedIn, correct? Okay, you don't have 50 people, just take whatever you can. Or you do what I did. I joined a diversity boot camp conference, and I met 20 ladies. I'm like, yeah, out of 50, I got 20 out. So I just had to find another 30, and I was done in 5 days. And I was surprised because actually it was more an American organization, but this is the difference between Europe and America. In America, they reached out and they said, yes, can we connect? And in Europe, it's like, what do you want from me? So the challenge is to really open up and reach out to people and just let them know that you're okay, ask them if they're okay, and just that you will enjoy the connection. There is no string attached. Don't ask for anything. Don't beg for anything. It's just reaching out, and you'll be surprised about the dynamic. Actually, I was doing that also. And then there's another lady online that actually I met 2 days ago, and I said, oh, you want a nice meet? And now she's joining the meeting. And I don't know her. At least I didn't know her until yesterday. Today, she's becoming a friend. Open up and reach out to people. And the third one, which I'm sure some of you have practiced, gratitude. Anybody knows about the power of gratitude? Anybody has been practicing the power of gratitude? You know, you can get up in the morning and say, life is, excuse my English, a bit shit. Or you can look and say, any day above ground is a good day. You know, it beats the odds. Now, there are different ways to practice this. And what I will be happy to send you later on, because when I was preparing for this presentation, I looked at what's available. And there is a 4-page PDF, which a 7-day challenge for gratitude. So the way that challenge, and you're welcome to do it anyone you like, but I just like this one because they pretty much starts in the morning with 1 question per day. So day one, what are you most grateful for this morning? Well, for me, if you know, my cat doesn't wake me up at 4 o'clock, I'm very grateful. 6 o'clock is enough, but sometimes she's decided that life, you know. Then the day 2, I'm thankful that today I get to speak on IWAP meeting. Day 3, what is one of the best things about you? And then you talk to whoever is in your life. Therefore, what is something that you recently fixed? Well, I cleaned my garage the other day because it was so full of water and mud that I thought I needed to clean it, you know. And then you just do this every morning, you feel good. And then in the evening, you write down 3 things that I'm grateful for right now. Like I said, I will send the email to Fernanda or Sandra that will resend it to you. And the best thing about these 3 connection challenges is that they work. They are easy, they are free, and they work. And until you try to test them and practice them, you will never know how much benefit they bring. So my challenge to you is, what will you do? Which one of the 3 connections? First, what do you think of this? Because, you know, you might say, well, Karen, I don't like any of this, and that's okay. Now, if by any chance you might like one of the 3 challenges, Are you prepared to take it on for fun, because it's only for fun, and test it first, see how it feels, and then see what kind of benefit come out of this. And my offer to you, because I already discussed with Fernanda, for those of you who would like to meet, in 10 days, I don't know how often we can do that, because part of the fun of this is to discuss the result and to discuss, the kind of difficulty you had to do it. Some people don't like to smile at themselves. I met a woman who says, well, I don't like myself. And I'm like, wow. Well, like I said, I don't necessarily like myself, at 6 in the morning when I brush my teeth. I'm like, okay, let's wait until I get my cup of tea, and then until I, take a shower, and then I will like myself better. But it's only because I'm not 20 anymore. And I'm very aware that, the lady in the mirror is a bit of a few sign of not being 20. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I put a bit of makeup, I speak to you, and I feel fine. And in the evening, I don't care, because I take everything off and then I go to bed, and nobody cares if I look 20 or if I look 60. But that's me. So you need to find what works for you. And connecting to others really helped me last year. What Fernanda didn't mention, I'm also Rotarian. And the Rotary members also speak every Monday evening. And then I'm also a Toastmasters, which have meeting every Tuesday morning. And all of those meetings, sometimes it's a bit boring, I have to be honest. I'm sure some of your meetings are also not so much fun. We're only human. At the same time, it kept the momentum, it kept us connected, and it kept us engaged into the community. And I think one of the biggest benefits of IWAP is you create an amazing community. I'm grateful, I'm not a member anymore, because the timing doesn't work and there's so many groups I can belong to. However, whenever I can support, I'll support, and I've always done it, and I will do it again. Fernanda tells me, oh, we have this kind of new challenge charity-wise. I said, I'm in. When Helen was the president, that's how I met Jenny. She said, you want to help somebody who is refugee? I said, I'm in. Obviously I like to go for projects that I care about, but still, it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel uncertain. It's okay to feel a bit afraid. At the same time, there are ways for us to bounce back, get out of the hole, reach out to others, and feel better about this. And in order to keep it short, I would like to really much thank you for your attention. This is not my cat, but this one looks very cute, and I thought that could be a nice way to finish with a big smile in order for all of you to feel very good about this morning session. Now I'm open to, I'm going to unshare, stop sharing. And we do have a bit more, what time is it? Yes, I have until 5 to 11 to answer any question you would like if you feel like it. You need to unmute, Shirley, if you want to talk. Unless Sandra has to unmute everybody. I don't know how that is work. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. So in order sometimes to stay positive, we need to withdraw from the negative. And sometimes you are withdrawing too much. And at the same time, we know that we need to connect. So where do you find that balance? Some thoughts on finding the balance.
Okay, I'm just a bit confused. What do you call by withdrawing from? You mean to still be aware of the difficulty, like not ignoring it, right?
Exactly. You are aware it's there, but if you dwell on it too much or you read about it too much, then it puts you in a not such good humor. You're not so positive. You're not smiling. So you think, okay, well, then I'm just not going to read about this, that, or the other thing. And then you find, well, you're disconnecting, but you know that connecting is really what we need to be doing. So where do you find that balance?
Okay, if I understand correctly, by following up what's happening, which makes you depressed, you feel like you're connecting. Do I understand it correctly?
No, you're disconnecting. Like if I don't want to read about COVID again today, then I'm not aware of what's going on and connecting with that outside world.
I understand. So that's what I'm trying to say. For you, connecting with the outside world is to stay aware and in touch with the reality. Well, again, it depends on the reality. I mean, luckily, I don't have TV. I mean, I have a bit of Netflix, but even that is getting more and more boring. So I read the news in order to know a little bit. Then Fernanda will send me some messages like, we have to do this and that. I mean, being aware of what's happening out there where I have no control. So it's more about, I'm aware, I know, and then we were discussing, how the situation in France versus the situation in London or in Texas. But then if I have no control, I don't pay attention to it. And for me, connecting with people, it's more about, how are you? How do you deal with this? Because the news, first half of it is the same. And the other half is fake. I just find out that actually in China, they're having some fake vaccine. And I'm like just, water in it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not touching any kind of Chinese vaccine in a while. So I understand, but I think you need to find what connection means to you. And if the connection doesn't bring some positive, I recommend that you find another way to connect. Because I think what I'm hearing is that staying aware of the news is your way to connect. You might want to find another one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have a channel that you can still feel that, how are you today? How are the cats? How are the kids? Or just, what did you read interesting? Do you guys read? You have a book club somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you speak about nice books and something that is not news and COVID, but still kind of engage in your interest? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think it's more looking for those things to engage your interests that are positive. So I need to do a little more work.
Exactly.
I can give the example of the photography group. We're given assignments every meeting, and we go off and we spend time and you refocus. And I thoroughly enjoy that. You forget about everything and just try and work on that assignment. And I'm finding that very, very valuable.
Yeah, I think the interest group is a great way to do exactly that, to do something that makes you feel good and stay connected and ignore what you cannot control. So see, you already have an answer. Thank you, Sandra. Anybody else would like to share what you do or what you would like to do or what you think is completely challenging? Okay.
I also make a list every day to try and give myself a purpose and get through the day.
Trying to compare to what's happening before might not be always the best. At the same time, it gives me perspective. I look at my kind of challenges compared to, how many of you have kids in the house? Well, Fernanda, your kid is a bit autonomous. So how many of you have kids that you have to help out for school, for this, or that you have to, just because I understand that the stress is different, because you have to deal with your stress and you have to deal with the kids' stress. And then if you have a partner, husband, whatever it is that you have at home that is also going through their own stress. So then comes even a bigger challenge, because it's not just you, it's you plus whoever is in your life. And this is when it's really important to take care of your own mood. And really important to really recenter yourself every morning to like, okay, what can I do for me? Remember, when you're on an airplane, if there's a oxygen problem, you need to take care of you first. It's not being selfish, by the way. Taking care of you is not being selfish. It's being very smart. And you do whatever it takes for you to feel good about yourself and reboost your energy. And then you can help others. Helping others before you help yourself is only going to drain more energy out of you. Anybody else would like? So, question, how many of you are prepared to take one challenge on?
Okay.
Okay. How many of you are prepared to take 2 challenges on?
I do already.
And how many of you are prepared to take 3 challenges on? Okay, that's maybe pushing too much. And then how many of you would like to meet in 10 days to discuss how it went, how you felt, and the result?
2.
Okay, so here, I don't know if this is Shirley or Fernanda. You decide what works for you. That will be kind of an interest group, right? Can we create an interest group? Because it's not exactly, we cannot wait another month for the General Assembly. Do we do a little bit of a follow-up interest group on how to boost your
Yes.
mood?
We
or
will
whatever you
follow
want?
up. We will speak with Shirley, and we will agree on a date to follow up. One of the challenges is, well, it's 7 days, yes. So we will try to keep it between 7 and 10 days.
Make it 10 days so people have a chance to finish. Now,
Exactly,
again,
yeah.
here is the things. Please, 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 if it doesn't work the way you would like to work, give yourself a break. Like I said, when I did the 50 people to connect with, I was like, oh my God, 50 people plus what I have to do. And I got very lucky because, you know, I could cheat in that sense. I joined this conference and they kept on asking to connect. I said, so I make 3 lists. I make new contact, friends, and kind of business contact. And then I reconnected with people that actually I wanted to connect with, but I'm just saying, like, it's okay to cheat. It's okay to do something that you get on. I mean, you don't have to do it perfect. The idea is just to get the momentum going. The same thing if you look at yourself in the mirror and said, yeah, you know, you don't look so good today, but I like you anyway. And you make a big smile. It might not be the smile which is sincere, like they say. It might not be the most positive smile, but just try. And if you don't, that's okay. You say, today I don't feel like smiling to myself. Okay. So take care of you first. Make sure you feel good about this and don't do something that doesn't agree with your own inner needs. It's okay?
Yeah.
So,
Could I ask question?
sure. Who is
Okay,
talking?
Karen, I was listening very carefully to your.
Sorry, who is it? Who is speaking?
My name is Nora Mares.
Oh, okay, hello, Nora. I don't see you. I see your pictures. Okay.
And I connect with whatever you suggested. I'm a very lucky person because I don't feel depressed. I still have a lot of energy. And I wish to have your horses, which I love very much. That would help even more. But what I wanted to say, which I don't agree with some of the people, that I actually listen to the news. I want to know what is going on, because if I know something really, I understand, at least try to understand, then I can deal with it. Worse for me is unknown. If something is not known to me, something is hidden from me, let's say some information which our government is doing very well here, then I feel insecure. So I'm trying to listen everything and then to take my own view on a subject, use my own mind and the best what I can. And of course, everything else what you said is like a Bible to me. Yes, you have to be grateful. You have to, one of the things I, for instance, wake up in the morning, I try to think very positive, to have at the right moment thinking, oh my gosh, there is a beautiful snow, or sun is shining, somewhere there I can see. And keep that in my mind, it takes me through the day very well. That only thing I wanted to suggest, that perhaps it's good to watch the news. It's probably good to know what is going on. That's about it, Karen.
Okay, I thank you very much. I just would like to reframe a little bit, because again, we all operate from a different perspective. For some people like you, it's very beneficial to know the news. For some people, it makes them depressed. I'm in between. Meaning some days I read on the things and at some point I'm like, oh, please, and I shut it off. So, and it's very difficult to tell people, well, if it works for me, it works for somebody else. The same thing is like, you don't have to do anything. I think it's a very woman obligation. I have to be nice. I have to be pretty. I have to be available. The 3 challenges are not anything you have to do. It's a suggestion for you to test in order to see if that works for you. Because the last thing I would like is for you to kind of end up this session with like, oh, another thing I have to do. No. Some of us work better with, I have to do this. That's the way we operate. It also has to do with the, upbringing. And some of us go from a very different perspective. I agree with you. It works for you. And obviously it doesn't work with Shirley. The news, it's really how you digest them. I don't have TV, like I said, it will depress me to death. I read the news, so when I'm tired, I shut it off. what I would like to end with, because I need to kind of turn off in 5 minutes for me, it's be nice to yourself. My recommendation is to make you feel good. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. If you do only half of the people connection, that's okay. It's already a step. One step at a time. For some people, coming out of the apartment is a big effort. I met a lady once, she was brilliant. She said, Karen, I can't even get out of the house. So you each have to go according to what works for you. If reaching 10 people is a fantastic achievement, that's it. Congratulations, and come to the meeting in 10 days and share that. If for you, smiling just once a day, it's an achievement, that's okay. And gratitude, if you tell me, forget it, I'm not grateful for anything, that's okay too. The idea is not to put any obligation, just to really reward yourself for having been in a hole, maybe being in a hole, and just remind yourself that you got out of it many times and you got all the resources to come out of it again. One more question before I'm gonna listen to the next 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna say goodbye. Anything else? So anybody else would like to share something?
I have one question. You mentioned help, and help goes two ways. I got to know you, as you mentioned, because you joined in to help with some of the activities that I was doing at the time. And doing things for others actually seems to be a really good way to feel better yourself. So that was the first thing, just to get you to comment on that, but also asking for help, because so often you can feel like you've got to be positive, especially like for your kids and things like that. But it is okay to ask your kids to help you out with something, or to reach out to others. And not only that, I think that at times where, for example, I've reached out to my daughter about something personal where I've really needed help, it's actually strengthened our relationship, and she has really wanted to be there to help me, just like I want to be there to help you. So I just thought I'd ask you about some of your perspectives on the whole notion of help.
I agree with you 100%. I would love to give you a long perspective on this. The challenge with help, some people feel that when they ask for help, it would make them look bad and make them look weak, especially men. By the way, I think women are better at asking each other for help than men. And one more thing is, when you're already in the hole, okay, the last thing you want is to be asked for help. So that's another thing. If you happen to be in a good position, it's easier to help than when you're already in a hole. So it's a matter of, you know, where are you at that moment? And when you ask for help, who do you ask? And is that person able to help you in that area? So I'm happy to discuss the topic a bit more at length, because this is a huge, very important topic. Thank you, Jenny, for bringing it up. As we discussed, we're all already different. We all have different way to ask. You know, I mean, I asked Sandra years ago for some kind of help with my webpage, and she was able to recommend me Diana. I asked, you know, so people that I know, I have no problem to ask for help. It's just a matter of how much help, and can the person provide the help at that moment. But yes, if those of you who have kids, please ask your kids for help. That's another long topic. On this note, ladies, I would love to speak longer, but like I said, I made a challenge to myself to help 50 ladies to, you know, discuss self-confidence, and I have another meeting at 11 o'clock, so I will definitely disconnect in about 2 minutes. But again, it's been a pleasure to be part of your meeting today. Thank you all for, you know, inviting me, listening to me, for your question. And I look forward to speak to Fernanda and Shirley for the follow-up whenever you're ready.
We will call you. We will talk about it today, and we will let you know and let everybody know, all our members. Yes.
And in the meantime, if you have any question, you can reach out to me. You know, Sandra can give you my email address. Fernanda can. I'm very easy to find. Send me an email, and if you have more questions on all this topic, please, you know, feel free to reach out. On these notes, lady, I thank you very much.
Well, and thank you very much, Karen. You've given us some positivity this morning. some ideas for focus, because there's so many ways that we can try to feel better during these times. But you've given us 3 challenges to weigh through all the options that we might have available to us. And thank you for your willingness to join us again in 10 days. And it's been a good morning and given us some food for thought. So thanks again.
My pleasure. Now I have a question. I have my friend here, Silva, who is on the line from London. Can she stay on board for the rest of the meeting, or does she has to leave with me?
No, she can stay.
Silva, I guess if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. I think she's enjoying herself. She came this morning. She said, can I stay the whole meeting? I guess she's enjoying herself. Thank you all. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Karen.
Bye-bye.